What up, Cuzzo?
What up, Cuzzo?
How you feel?
Man, all is well, man. I'm feeling good, feeling great. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm darn near perfect, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
Man, we in here for another one.
Indeed, indeed, we are.
Man, I think we get better and better as we
Man,
should.
it's always progress, man. As long as we working, you feel me?
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, things have happened.
And always things do happen every day, all day. It don't stop.
I would like to say, a lot of good things have happened, but also a lot of not so good things have happened.
That's part of the deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely understand that and have lived that, so I can appreciate both sides of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, so as you said, a lot of things have happened, and shout out to everybody out there in the land. Of those who decide to join us, we appreciate you. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We are working to get better each and every time, and we look forward to making you guys making having us as a daily part of your lives. So we appreciate you if you watched our content. um Man, so as we kind of progress, and Trump, we talked about Trump, how he's in office now. First day he signed a massive amount of he signed a massive amount of sorry, um
Executive orders.
executive orders. There you go. I
I got you, Cuzzo.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. And man, things are moving along, man. A lot of things have happened. Like some of them I'm like, wow, like I didn't know or expect things to move that way. But there's something that came up, it actually came up like last week, like late last week, about DEI. Um, he signed the executive order to remove a lot of the DEI programs, and a lot of the companies out there. You got Target, you got some of the others that decided to do the same. They removed their DEI program, but I'm hearing a lot of confusion. I don't know about you, or a lot. I'm sorry, a lot of different stances on what DEI is. What about you?
Yeah, man. I'm just, kind of getting conflicting reactions to, things that are happening in terms of businesses or companies or corporations choosing to, let go of their DEI program. So, I mean, it would definitely help if we could ask some questions to kind of delve deeper into what it truly is instead of reacting to the headlines as most of us do because we live in a vacuum a lot of times for most things. So yeah, what do we got? What we checking out?
Man, so as we since we talked about Target, right? We might as well, see what's going on, you know, over there with Target. I'm actually not gonna. I'm gonna pull up this clip that we have from a young lady. I guess she's an influencer, and this is her opinion um, as it relates to Target. Let's see. Actually, I have to go there first.
I needed an excuse to not go back in there ever again anyway.
No,
Perfect.
no.
So Target.
All right, come on, Marco. All right, all right. All right, here we go.
So Target said they don't need our money, which is great because I needed an excuse to not go back in there ever again anyway. Perfect. It works out. It freaking works out.
Huh. Shout out to her, Dr. Aaron Harper. Okay. Like I
shout
said,
out to her. Shout out to her for, taking a stance and making a decision, based on, what's happening, what she feels is happening. So all good.
so I really don't. I mean, that really didn't give us an explanation of what DEI is. It just gave us a kind of viewpoint of her opinion. She said us, so I'm assuming that she's talking when she says us, she's referring to African American people or people uh who say African Americans. They're African American. I'm not sure, you know, um, if that's the whole standpoint of what rolling back or getting rid of DEI in the workplace is. Um, let's actually, I don't know. Like, what is your take on just her video?
I mean, my take on her video, I can't really say much. I mean, she didn't say anything. Now, what I can do is make an assumption,
Right.
based on, what she looks like and, what the talking points are out there is that she was upset that Target chose to roll back their program. And many of the people who actually was able to get their products into Target was through that gateway and through that program, you
Mhm.
know, which I guess made it a lot more streamlined and easy, for people of color to get their products in the Target, which is great, a great initiative, I think, and I believe. Um,
What about would you say that that it also involved like hiring as well? Which people, which type of people. Well, I don't want to say type of people, but it's only one, only one race, right? Human race. But we have our people that identify as black or brown, um, you know, Latino, black, etc. I think that kind of. I mean, she may have been talking about products, but I've been hearing a lot of people, talk about color, race, of the things of those natures. And actually, I did see. I was trying to pull it up right now, but I couldn't find it. But supposedly a lot of the programs, they did actually have programs in place that were used to hire people of a particular, ethnicity or sex as well.
right. So if we look at DEI, which is what, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I
Yeah, let's
think
pull it
that's
up.
what the acronym is, or the abbreviation is. And just looking at what diversity means is pretty much meaning, it's diversified. It comes from many different conditions, backgrounds, many different elements.
Right,
It's not just one thing. So if you focus on one thing and this one part of it gets benefits, then okay, you make it about that one thing. But it's not just one thing, it's many different conditions and backgrounds and elements that are rolled into it. So it could be, black and brown. It can be women. It could be women of color. It
right,
can be, Caucasian women. It could be Asian women. It could be many different things. It can be LGBT women. It can be LGBT men. So there's a lot of different elements to it that people are not talking about.
right,
And of course, you're going to focus on it because it affects you in some way. And then we're going to see who we can kind of gaslight the most or the best,
right,
and to get in a reaction, and who can we get to focus on it the most to kind of take your eyes away from the real issues or the core of the matters as to why the things are the way that you don't feel they should be. What are you not focusing on that you should be focusing on more, to ask different questions other than you trying to shape a certain environment or a thing to be in your favor because you feel it should be, because you feel a certain way on a certain day. And it shouldn't be that way, but it just is, you know. And then equity is pretty much fairness. If you
Right.
look up equity, it's about being fair in the matter. So is it fair to have, you know, big corporations or big businesses, you know, tied into one location versus having small businesses or up and coming startups in that same location to kind of compete with those bigger corporations, you know, multinational or, you know, type businesses. So I look at it that way as well, because that may be some of it as well. And then inclusion is just, you know, including, you know, people, you know, in the grand scheme of things, which is, you know, the American dream or entrepreneurship, or having the ability to, you know, be able to sell to the public, you know, on a large scale. So if we kind of break it down that way and kind of focus on, you know, just those things, then we can kind of see, you know, how, you know, the talking points are shaped, how your focus and attention are kind of taken away. And then you're only going to focus on one or two parts that makes you emotional and not really focus, and kind of look at things in a creative way as to, you know, what's really going on and why things are the way they're happening. So that's
Absolutely.
the idea.
Absolutely. Let me see. I pulled this up real quick. I mean, I guess we could. I mean, you broke it down. Um. Let's see. Let's see. So, this is kind of like what Wikipedia has to say. But I was looking at this, as you know, before you started sharing. It says the organizational framework which seeks to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people. All is all, right? Um, Particularly groups who have historically been unrepresented or subject to discrimination on the bias and identity or disability. These three notions, diversity, equity, and inclusion, together represent three closely linked values which organizations seek to institutionalize through DEI framework. The concept predates this terminology, or other variations sometimes include the term as a belonging, justice, accessibility. Now, um, hello, King Cole. Diversity refers to the presence of variety with the organizational workplace, such as identity and identity politics. So those are one thing is, I mean, I I get some people's gripe against it, you know, but I think they're thinking selfishly, you know, because I know I've gone to a place like Target in particular, and I only see like one type of people, right? And is that diverse? Is that inclusive? No.
Well, and I'll look at it too. It's also based on the area that you're in, because I've been to plenty of different Targets in different areas. So based on the demographics that are in that area, that's who's going to be in the store, you
Right.
know. So of course you want to carry a certain amount of products for everybody across the board, you know, corporate wise. As you go across, you know, the states, you want all your targets to be uniform and carry the same thing. But, you know, you're going to have more patronization on certain products, you know, because it's geared towards a certain demographic or group of people.
Right. I mean, I get that, but also too, I mean, I think the whole idea, well, you know, from what I gather, the whole idea is to have everybody represented. And I've heard, you know, a lot of people say that we're misrepresented, or we're not, we're, you know, kind of like the definition says that we're not represented, you know, in certain spaces. And I understand, kind of to your point, that there's gonna be places where you're not represented, you know, you know. Um, but I think that the fairness in it is still like that, like I don't think it's fair not to hire people, because they're not a certain color.
Or they don't fit a certain criteria.
Right.
Or if you were to hire them, then you would just be doing what you normally do, so to speak. Is that what it's saying?
I mean, yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. And the other part of that is people. Um, dang, I lost my train of thought, but I was about to cook too, but the
It'll come back.
fire went out. But
The fire went out.
fire went out, man.
The wind came by and blew the pilot out, huh?
I had to go to the woods and get some logs, man, and
Right.
start the fire. But
Hmm.
but like I said, the complaint that I hear, and this is what I hear, this is personally, is that we're certain groups, and I'll just say my group is not represented in certain locations. But to your point, you know, it's based on the location. Sometimes you're not going to be represented in certain spaces. And I think it's okay, right? Because when I was, looking for a job, I was grateful that I landed the job I did because it's near my house. Now, if I had to travel 3 hours away, I would. However, I wouldn't want to travel 3 hours away unless they were paying me a damn good amount of money.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and so taking the standpoint of, to go further, like in the DEI, we want to seek to get the person with the most qualifications. Like, I think that's what we should really be seeking for, because it's not fair holding up a space for somebody who doesn't put in the work.
Hmm.
I think, and I know you're talking about products, but I'm talking about, like what I hear is like the scholarship is going to be taken away. Uh, jobs are going to be taken away from people who, are not represented in certain places. And I agree, but also I was thinking this the other day that you have to be mindful and cognizant of what you're doing on a daily basis to achieve the goals that you are trying to achieve. Like, if you want a certain position, you can't just expect to sit on your butt and not put in the work and get the job. Like, that's how diversity, equity, inclusion, in my opinion, makes it unfair, because the best person doesn't get the job, but the person, I mean, and I'm not saying you might not be qualified, the other person that gets, they might not be qualified, but in a lot of instances, what happens is the people that aren't as qualified get the position. And sometimes they do great, but then sometimes they don't do great. And I have another video that I want to show. Actually, I won't show that one because it'll make make us look kind of bad, but um I'm I'm not gonna show it.
Huh? Not make them feel bad. We're not here to make them feel bad, but we definitely want to. We don't want to de. We don't want to DEI this thing. We want to be fair. You know, you gotta show your points and give your points so people can give their honest opinion.
Okay. I wonder why my nothing, I'll set it up on. Let's see. Let's actually I want to play this other video real quick, unless you had like some other input.
No, I was just gonna make a
Yeah, go
quick correlation between what we're seeing today and what we saw in college
ahead.
with affirmative action. There was another program, given to, certain demographics of people, and people made it about, again, a certain group of people when it really wasn't that, you
Right,
know. But that got taken away, understandably so, and why. But it's just history repeating itself. That's all.
right. And they try to change the game for sure. They try to add on, like you kind of said, LBGTQ plus,
Right.
you know.
Yep. Everybody try to funnel and kind of put yourself in the position of when, I get it if certain people, or, you know, sex feel like they're not, being um not able to be in a certain demographic of workspaces, then yeah, you would say, yeah, I'm being discriminated here. Oh, I don't have an example of me here. So, you try to put yourself in that position.
I hear that. So you saying like at some point the NFL, like the football teams, they go, the white people or the Latino people are gonna be like, you know what, like, there's no representation of me in here. You know what I mean? Like
Um, I
there's no
mean,
or
it,
basketball.
it could say that, but I mean, we all know that's not exactly true. There's many people in the NFL, and it's becoming more and more diverse because they actually have international programs to kind of bring people, from international spaces to play. I
Right.
think, and eventually it's going to be international. That's what they're trying to make it go.
Right, but what if, say I play linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a you know, I'm a good linebacker. I'm great actually. I'm
Mm-hmm.
qualified. And then you have a linebacker who's coming out of another school and he might be, white or Latino, but he's not as good as me. I got two scenarios. What if they say, you know what, we gon' we gon' we gonna draft um John, who's Latino or white, whichever one he is, instead of drafting Marco because we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion uh, policy that we need to follow. What do you think about that? Like how does that play out? You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, I get what you're saying, but that happens on some scale already. It's just not like, oh, DEI program, but it is like, oh, I know him. I want him versus the other guy who's better anyway. So it's like that's another level of it too. It's like not what you know, is who you know. And that's just a personal preference or a personal bias. You may interview 5 people, but you have 2 that are, highly qualified, but then you got one person that you like. So you'll hire the person that you like because you'd rather, work with that person. So that's normally how it goes.
and so I get what you're saying, but this is like I don't know either one of them. You know what I mean? I just know of them. I know their play. They both play the same. I'm sorry. They both have the same uh work ethics, but there's just one that's definitely better than the other one. But you know what? Because I don't have this particular person or this particular ethnicity represented on my team. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the guy who is different from the other one. You know what I mean? That's kind of like really what a lot of people are fighting for, like stuff like that. Like to I get what you're saying, but in sports, most of the time, if they don't know it, like you said, who you know is who you know, and it could help. But if they're drafting, they're gonna draft the best player for their team, no matter who he is. And I don't know, maybe I was a DI. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. But I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. Was there somebody better than me? Maybe. I don't know that, but I always like to get better. And I would like to think that I am good at what I do, and I was hired because I was good at what I do, and I was the best candidate, and that's really kind of what we should be seeking for because mediocrity, you know, is a issue. Being mediocre and just trying to get an advantage because you're, gay, bisexual, or black. or Hispanic or even white. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to talk about just all black people, but that shouldn't be what I don't believe that's what we should be basing, you know, we should be using that as a qualification. I don't know, that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think we should, but we do, and a lot of places do. But it's not always just white and black. It could be, oh, he went to Harvard, or oh, he went to this school, or oh, he was
That's
trained
true.
by this place. He went to this training school. So it's all done just in different ways, you know. And one way could be considered bias or racist or discrimination, and another thing could be, oh, it's just the preference, or this is just, the training from this place that you need to live up to the potential of what the business is looking for, if you want to work here. You know what I'm saying?
Did you want to talk more about like the from a standpoint of like products, product wise, or did you want to, like DEI as it relates to products? I know you were saying like I think Tabitha Brown was talking about products on it that, her products are on the shelf, and she actually kind of told people to start boycotting Target, because of the whole DEI thing and her products potentially being removed at some point, or other people of color not being able to get their products on the shelf. You muted too. You muted, Cuzzo. You muted it.
Yeah, I think more than anything, that's the issue with, so-called black people that, are not happy with the DEI program, and rightfully so. You got into a place or a space, under a program, and now they're taking it away. So you're not happy about it. Do you have a video on that?
I can find it real quick. Let me play this one real quick. I just want to. This guy is talking about merit based versus DEI. I'm gonna play this one real quick, and then we could go into the next one. But I'll pull it up while we're playing this one.
All right.
They're being DEI is not the same as black people or brown people. If I had a cheeseburger for every time somebody conflated these two things, I would be a hippopotamus. Visagi and crustacean brains on the moldy sponge left are conflating these two things to make it seem like anytime a person brings up DEI, they're like, oh, this is just coded language for whites to just say how they really feel. Literally, sponge. DEI is just a catch-all term to go from a merit-based system to an equal outcome-based system, aka an inequality system. Equal outcome is not equality. Equality is no preferential treatment based on anything other than merit. Equal outcome, of which DEI is based, means that if we do not all end up at the same place, we will artificially adjust the results to fit the perceived equality of distribution of opportunities. DEI essentially presumes that if there is an outcome and there is not a distribution of people that include these attributes, then it must have been because of some type of discrimination. And it includes more than just race. It's also gender, it's also orientation, and a multitude of other different things. And the reason that DEI is so toxic is because while theoretically well-meaning, it has the opposite outcome of its stated intent. If a merit-based outcome does not include people from some protected class, which is essentially everything but straight white men for the most part, it essentially presumes that everybody and every system for the most part is discriminating. And therefore, the only equalizer or protection against this discrimination is some sanctioned process by the bureaucracy or some law or rule or decree. But where it gets crusty is where the rubber meets the road, when there are not enough qualified candidates to fill a slate of positions that has some type of requirement. The easiest way to understand this is a earned position based on standardized test scores, placements, or minimum requirements. And when the persons don't meet those minimum requirements or place higher under the specific standard testing rules, they have to adjust them in order to place those people. If the requirement was there must be 20% of your applicants have to be women, then if the women did not meet those standard requirements, they would have to reduce those requirements, meaning reduce the necessary test scores or reduce the minimum capacity of what a person needs in order to qualify, which ultimately means that a higher scoring, higher ranking, or more capable candidate would be overlooked for that person, specifically because...
I'll stop it right there. So what do you think about some of what he had to say?
I mean, it's pretty much what we just talked about and what we just said. I mean, he just kind of pretty much said it a different way. And it's definitely understandable, but equity and inclusion is meant to kind of level the playing field in the larger scope of the economy as it is now. So if there's an underrepresentation of certain demographics of people, then that's not fair. That's why they want to add equity, because that's fairness.
Right.
But also too, on his part, if they're not qualified and then the people that are qualified don't get the job, now you are lessening that position, or you are denigrating that position, because you're adding more less qualified people that didn't score what they needed to score to get into that position in the first place. Right. So now it's like you're kind of dumbing down, that position, which could be, sort of what, maybe what could have happened, with an accident over down at Reagan's airport.
Mm-hmm.
But we never know if that's really what it was or not. We can only speculate. Those are being some of the things that can be said. So, I mean, there's many different ways you can look at it,
Well, I think in some points I agree. Like we talked about the misrepresentation in certain areas. However, like to his point out, if it's especially if it's a position of like regarding safety or something like that. And I think I may have asked you this question before, but I asked my nephew this question. Actually I asked Sherikon my boy this question. Maybe I shouldn't have said his name, but anyway, I asked my boy this question, and my nephew, and I said, if you were in a fire, you know what I mean, and you were passed out, like who would you want to save you? A male, female, a male fireman, or a woman, right? And so my nephew was like, "Is this a trick question?" And I'm like, "No, it's not."
Why they gotta feel like it's a trick question? It's a question.
Right. It's a trick question.
It's a real life question. Which one would you want?
And then, I asked my boy the same thing, and it was like, kind of like it depends on who's stronger. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like,
what? Is she Wonder Woman? No, we're not talking about Marvel superheroes. We're talking about real everyday, people.
The average man, average woman.
Yeah, average man, average woman. Yeah.
Like which one would you rather have pull you out the fire, right? Or be present to pull you out? I know who I want to pull me out. I'll say it all day. Man, bro, help me out.
Of course. Yeah, cuzzo, pull me out this fire, man. Don't bring your sister in. You pull me out,
Yeah, I'll get her. You go get him. Nah, man, hey.
Ah, man, I'm good. No, you right here. Help me. I need your help now.
And so the reason why I bring that up is because he talked about how some of the qualifications are lessened because of certain individuals don't meet the standard, right? So like the weightlifting limit is lowered because women don't necessarily meet the the requirement that men meet. Some of the time you're changing other jobs for like certain physical fitness things, and all those things play into the whole grand scheme of things of doing your job, like they matter, with doing your job. So if, I'm in a actually, you know what? I'm gonna play that video. So that's why I bring it up because it's important, for a
Yeah,
job. Know?
it's like grading on the curve. Like I remember back in school, we went to school. Like, man, I need to pass this test. It's like, all right, don't worry about it. We're gonna grade on the curve. So,
I need my
you know,
A, man. Hey, man.
I'm just saying though, some of us, everybody ain't smart in this class like you. So, we got maybe one or two smart people. Everybody else is like, yeah, I ain't getting it. I need some help.
Yeah, we're gonna help you out with school, man. But to go and take this D, and that means
Nah, I need some help to pass. I need your help right now. I need you to pull me through.
now you got to hit me up before then, man. I could have helped you
I
right now.
did, man. I did all of that. It still
Means
didn't help.
you deserve to get better. That's what the D stand for, and we'll help you for the next one. We'll make sure you get a D.
Nah, right. It's diversity. That's what the D stand for, man. We
Nah,
all in this together.
nah, I said you deserve that. You deserving of
No,
that
I
D.
desire to have an A, just like my boy. So we gonna stick together.
I ain't gonna say I'm gonna get an A, but
You
I
get
might
the
get
A,
a
then that put you down
D.
to a B. I had a D that put me up to a C. Perfect.
Oh, man, nah, see that?
That's how it
Nah,
goes. Crazy
man.
work. Crazy work.
That's real crazy work. But yeah, so as it relates to products, and actually Target, here's a young lady. I'm not really familiar with her, but I've seen her video going around about uh Target and how she has her products and stuff. And anyway, I will let you hear it yourself.
Uh, so I want to say right now, I thank you for supporting me for the last 5 years. I have worked with Target, with Walmart, with all the places that you have shopped for my products. I thank you for showing up for me. I thank you for supporting me. When you did, I thank you for showing out for me. Um, and if you choose not to anymore, I understand that. And I still thank you and I'm grateful. But if you've heard anything that I've said today, if you still choose to show up for me, I thank you, but also showing up for others. We in it together, okay? Um, but either way, be clear. I understand. All right? But remember this, if you don't remember nothing else, let's not give them what they want. Um,
Okay. That might not be. Let me see if I can find another one. That didn't really give us much.
So she like that's like the middle right there. If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. All good.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was a little more than that. Because I heard the entire message, and it was more of like, yeah, I spelled her name wrong. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it's the same video. That's the same video.
It's another video too. I think what was it? Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about this too as well. DEI or something like that.
Who's that?
DEI. You know who Dr. Claude Anderson is?
Not familiar, no.
Yeah, you should look him up. He talks about, um, the whole integration thing. He talked about it from its inception when Martin Luther King was out there talking about the bus boycotts and all that stuff, and how we already had all our own bus lines and
Yeah.
doctors' offices, and we shut all our stuff down just to ride on the front of their stuff or ride on the back of their stuff. We was on the front and the back of our own buses, but when we shut our own buses down to get on the front of their stuff.
Why we do that?
And which is interesting because it's true. You
I
already had your own stuff, so why would you need to come over here and say, "Hey, I need to be in here"? You know.
They wasn't represented. I'm sorry, we weren't represented. I said they, huh? We weren't represented on the white bus. So
I don't know. I don't know.
here's another video.
in
Right here.
business
Like ours.
in multiple ways,
Yep.
with Target, with Walmart, um, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations, listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected and our sales will drop, our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, you know, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves
Hear
and
that?
then put their preferred
Playing
businesses
like
on the shelves.
middle of the field, sort of.
And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there. There are amazing companies like the Village Market in Atlanta, right, who support small businesses, and you can go in there and it's
I'll stop it right there. So you see, like, kind of the standpoint she takes it from. So she's playing like kind of like the middle of the field. Like, okay, if you do it, if you stop, shopping at these places, I understand. However, it's gonna affect all of our stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like if you decide to do it, I totally understand. I support that. However, if you do all the hard work that we put in, so she's kind of like, I agree with you, but please don't do it because you're gonna the support that that you're giving is gonna keep our stuff on the shelf. I guess I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I don't want to over talk. Or you froze? Are you?
No, I mean that's what I took from it. I mean, she definitely is coming from a space of empathy and understanding to everyone's reaction, everyone's love, support at the same time. So she's walking through both of those spaces and walking on both sides to kind of give a glimpse of hey, this is where we are. I understand. If you do, great. But if you do that, hey, let me just give you a glimpse of what could happen, and how it could affect us, pretty much is what she's saying. So, I mean, it's smart to speak in those in that way. And I don't think it's a manipulative style of speaking, it just comes from a place of, telling people what it is and how it is, you know. And at the end, you heard what she said. Hey, yeah, we got some spaces, throughout, certain areas, but we got a long way to get to that, which is corporation. And as I said before, we've been there before. So it can be done, but that just has to be something that, people want to move to and make, a thing. And, it can't just be, oh, all of us. It has to be for everybody and to everybody. Of course, we want to include ourselves first, but, when you're doing business, and this is multicultural, multifaceted, place, which they call the United States. Yeah, you want to be able to, play to everyone's demographics, But first, you want to take care of your own, make sure you guys are good. And then from there, yeah, how can we expand and, service everyone? So I think, just from coming from that standpoint, I think, just speaking about the whole integration thing, I think they wanted to eventually make it to where everybody is a part of the same thing, regardless of if you're from this background, that background, or the other. This is a crazy way to go about it, but I just got that epiphany right now. Maybe that could be a realization one day. You're on mute.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself. Do you think when people say like black owned business or black only products, that they limit the availability or limit the stretch that they could have on said product or service?
I mean, I think it does in a sense, because you kind of limit the people that want to support you. If you're just making it about, black on this, black on that. I mean, we're the only people that do that. You don't see people saying white this, Asian this,
They did say
Indian this.
white. I'm messing with you.
Huh?
I said they did say white only
Oh yeah, I
fountain.
got you. I got you. I got you. We do have that history, of course, but I'm speaking about today.
Right,
They just have industry. They just are who they are, and they just operate. You
right.
got the Mexicans. You got they have they spaces and places, and they just operate.
Vietnamese.
And it's
They
just
don't say
like,
Vietnamese.
yeah, and we pay. Yeah, they have their spaces and places, and they'll have their language and their writing. I mean, if you just take a look around at just different conglomerates, we can do the same thing. Buy a shopping center, and then each one you guys start a business in that shopping center, and then all be you guys. And it's just kind of like anybody can come and eat. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, or Asian, or whatever background you are.
Green, right?
Uh,
As long as you have green. You breaking up too, cause so I'm
oh
not
yeah,
trying
because
to.
I'm probably in this parking lot
You're not trying.
where it's terrible service.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let me move. Well, go ahead.
No, I wasn't trying to overtalk you, but I thought you had stopped because you it was breaking up. But yeah, I the reason why I asked you that question because I agree that happens a lot. Like you said, it's usually only us who kind of say black owned business and which kind of I don't want to say it deters people to come there because people still come there anyway. But when you put like black only this or black only that or black owned this, it does like make it seem as if you only created for your people, for your group of people. But if you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna just name it this business" and just leave it at that, like it's more open and more welcoming to massive groups of people. And as long as they have the color green, that's all that matters. As long as their card has a swipe or a chip on it, what I'm saying, that's all that matters. Um So I don't know, man. Like I mean, this topic, you could come at it from a lot of different places. Like, we talked about products and about positions. Because I've seen both. I did see Tabitha Brown, kind of talk about some things. I've seen some other people, talk about Costco that we didn't go over yet. But I've also seen people talk about it as it relates to jobs and college and things like that, that is going to affect some of those things as well, not just not just the products on the shelf. But anyway, I kind of wanted to touch on this real quick. This happened a couple of days ago with the airplane um and the helicopter that crashed into each other. I don't even know if I could show this on here, but I mean, I guess I can. I don't know. We'll see. They'll flag it if I can't. Let me see.
In the second video, you can see the Army. These videos, obtained exclusively by CNN, show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen.
I'm gonna pause it
The American Airlines plane can be seen
right there.
you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other.
Right at each other. That's crazy. That is crazy. Man, so I don't know if you saw that, but I don't know, man. It poses a lot of questions for me, like what happened? I heard one of the people in air traffic control say, like, do you see them? And instead I don't know. I don't know what goes on up there, but I could imagine, it's a high stress area in some cases, but for something like that to happen, um, I don't know, it's unheard of for me. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I've understood it, it's a tragedy, and my condolences goes out to the people involved. Most definitely, you always want to give that pretext before you say anything about any type of tragedy, regardless of how you feel about it. In your own thought process of what it is, or what it could be, or what it's not. So let me first say that first and foremost.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
just looking at
Family.
the information and how it happened and what happened and the officials and the experts on how they're talking and what they're saying, it shouldn't have happened. So if it happened, then why did it happen? You have to start asking yourself questions about it.
Right.
What's the reason why, how, like something like this could have happened? And those things happen every day. It's not like it's something that just randomly happened. Those helicopters fly in that area or take out from that area a lot. It's not uncommon, for it to happen in terms of helicopters in that area. So for them not to see a plane coming, I don't know. You can't really put your finger on it. You can speculate. You can say many different things, and people will call you, conspiracy theorists. But I just tell people, just put your critical thinking caps on and kind of look at how all, you know, tragedies happen with flying objects, in the past 20 years. You kind of look at those things, and the more and more you see information come about, you start to kind of see how things could have happened or may happen. So I just look at it from that perspective, and I just wait for more information to come out before I get like my full thought process or synopsis on it. So I'll say that.
Absolutely. As you stated earlier, my condolences to all that were affected, the family of the individuals that were um, involved in this. Um, I don't know, man. I've listened to a few different things, and one report or one recording that I heard, it was like somebody from air traffic control asked, "Do you see them?" I also heard reports of that they could see the lights, from the plane. They were super bright. Um, and it's a lot of conspiracy theory. A lot of things you could speculate, as it relates to this, and that's something that, you know, I thought about as well. Like what, you know, like why did this happen? And to your point, like planes fly there all the time. It's always some activity. They actually showed a video of helicopters flying over in that area, you know, um, the day before, and if this happens on a regular, so why, did this happen? Like, was it negligence? You know, was it coordinated? Was it, I don't know. What was it? Like why this thing that happened shouldn't have happened? I'm sorry, why did this thing that shouldn't have happened? Why did it happen? Um, I don't know, man. It's you know, unfortunate, I mean, we really won't know. We're still, trying to find out information on as to what happened, but it's definitely, pretty crazy that something like this could happen. Let's see. Some people do say it was negligence, Um, actually, let's see real quick. This is one of let me see. This is Congress last year talking about, the qualifications, of the people and I don't know, it's just it's could be speculation. We don't know, like I said, we don't know what it is. We don't know what happened. I mean, somebody knows, but I'm gonna just play this real quick. And then we could
And I rise in support of my amendment. Secretary Buttigieg and President Biden's DEI initiatives, which hire and promote people based on their physical characteristics over their merits and qualifications, violate Title VII and the Constitution. In critical public safety roles such as air traffic control, it is essential to have the best possible candidate based strictly on professional qualifications and merit. Efforts by the Biden administration to factor race, gender, and sexual orientation into hiring and promotion decisions puts the traveling public at risk and deepens the staffing shortages we've seen throughout the FAA. Under this administration, we saw the first national ground stoppage since September 11th. My constituents regularly face delays caused by shortages in air traffic control staffing, delays that I'm sure many of my colleagues have also experienced. We must roll back the Biden administration's woke DEI policies and put the needs of our public aviation system before the far left's political agenda. I urge the adoption.
I'm gonna stop it right there. And I'm gonna just add this. So she said Title VII. It violates Title VII. So Title VII, race, treating someone differently because of their race, treating someone color, treating someone differently because of their color, religion, treating someone differently of their religion, sex, treating someone differently because of their sex, including pregnancy, childbirth, and related conditions, sexual orientation, and gender identity. National origin, treating someone different because of their national origin. Title VII permits discrimination in many aspects of employment, including hiring, promoting, discharge, pay, fringe benefits, job training, classification, and referral. That's just to say, like, the least kind of like a brief understanding of what it is. So I don't know. I can't say that this is why this happened, because of the the people that were hired in this position. If it was, that's why I said it, negligence was brought up. But something unfortunately didn't go right, and it just didn't look right. And I know hundreds and thousands of people, maybe millions, are looking at this as like what really happened. So I don't know. I know you have to go, cuz I know we kind of went long, but yeah. Did you have any input, or did you have any like closing remarks or anything like that?
Yeah, because I'll just say, man, we'll table that one, man. We'll come back to it because I did have some more stuff to say, but yeah, we going past the time. I'm out here on the street, so gotta get ready to go. But yeah, man, just I appreciate you, like I tell you always, man. Every time we get on here, man, for taking the time and the energy, man, to get us set up and get us started and get us on the air, so that people can hear what we got to say and hopefully make some connections and some agreements or some disagreements and, talk to us and let us know how they feel. So, yeah, man, my thing is let's just stay consistent, man. And, just put your thinking caps on. Let's continue to, be critical, in our thoughts, be creative, on how we, treat and talk to one another, man. And, man, let's just start giving out more love versus hate. And yeah, that's when I congratulate. That's my spiel. Appreciate you, cuz.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, shout out to you for hopping on and giving your insight. Um, I always appreciate it because you bring up stuff that I may not have thought about. So you challenge my way of thinking in some cases. So I appreciate that. But to all the people out there, as I said earlier, we're working on getting better. And the goal of this, man, is not to pretend like we know everything, but um I think the goal is to, search after what the truth is, because we've been told, so many different things in life that we were just told to agree with. And a lot of the things are, we find out are false, you know. So the important thing is to learn, learn for yourself, get understanding for yourself, and seek the truth for yourself. So that's all I have, man. We will see y'all next week, man. Again, for those who decide to watch, we appreciate you. But please do us a favor, like, comment, and man, subscribe to this channel. We're just two regular dudes, just trying to get better, man, and trying to share, what we've learned and what we know. So we appreciate you. Peace.